Right, right.
Do you know what it is? I think it's one of these.
Mate, it's 10 a.m. here, so I'm on the coffee, and it's probably 10 p.m. from where you are, isn't it? So it's
I've got to have a drink. Hi, everybody. Sorry about the freeze. Broke the internet again.
yeah, I think you were talking about space.
Yeah, and I think the third one has to be my residency at Space Ibiza, because I've been going to Ibiza every year since 1985, never missed one. And then Space Ibiza opened up around about 1989. And what I really liked about Space was that it was actually an official after hours club. So you went there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was sunny and beautiful, and it's just amazing that you was able to go into a club at that time. It was unheard of anywhere else in the world. This was it. So, to go there at that time, I just went there as a punter, enjoyed the club, and then eventually I had an opportunity to play at that place with React Records at the time, where I had my Fact album release party there.
Yeah.
And I played, and then Pepe, and at the time Fritz used to the manage there, and they both saw what I could basically do with their club, and then offered me a residency. Well, first and foremost, I played there for BBC Radio 1's after party in 1996 on the terrace, and turned the terrace into a club. And the thing is about me, they give me the opportunity to turn the speakers round, put the tables and chairs over there. We're going to put the DJ booth over there and put some flags up space. And that was it. It was very low key, very, no big production, nothing. And the atmosphere and what happened on that terrace was amazing. And we never looked back. And the terrace became, the terrace. It was the hallowed ground at Space. It wasn't a discotheque, but the discotheque eventually became hallowed ground when I went in there on a Tuesday and started my residency in 2001. Now, what was really amazing about that was we really just started at the beginning. In the end of the day, it was a small crowd to begin with, 2,000 people split over two floors.
And that's what people don't remember today. People don't remember that you really were this residency, didn't you? You really started it from scratch. They think you just there were thousands of people there, but you actually, and that's another point that people need to know, I think.
It started off right from the beginning, because the thing is about Space was that it was only an after party which started on Sunday mornings, and that was it. And then eventually they had the Carry On, which Manumission used to run the club on Mondays there, and then that was it for the club. So Tuesdays was available to do something, and at the time I wasn't sure about doing that as a residency, because I had my residency before that in London. Some people might remember it as the Velvet Underground that we used to do, called Ultimate Bass with me and Jim Masters. And so I had a residency already on a Thursday night in London. So I had to take that away from the first night in London to be able to do Space Ibiza for my residency. But it was a great opportunity for me to do something, of which was just phenomenal when we did it. And it's frozen again.
I'm okay, my end.
Yeah. You can still see. So I mean, I can still chat.
So I just quickly log you out, and then get you back in, because it's got a spinning wheel on you.
Okay.
All right.
I see. What I might do is switch from tel.
Sorry about this, guys. Just waiting for Carl to reconnect. Here we go. Let's have a look. There we go. Here we go. Nothing's going to stop this.
Okay, so yeah, so Space Ibiza really was a kind of landmark for me. I mean, people sometimes don't think that I play outside of Ibiza because it was such a church for a lot of people. It was the hallowed club to go to if you really wanted to hear Carl Cox music, based on what we did there. And it wasn't just me. I mean, my team, Dave Browning and Owen Smith and Lynn Cosgrave at the time when we were running. Of course, you was there, Nick, so you know what that was like and how that felt for everybody. Um, it was sad because that club was never over. That club still had, if it was open today, it would still be one of the most popular clubs to go to in the world, still today. Um, but it was an end of an era, and we just have to move on from it. Unfortunately, I mean, and it's going to be really difficult to try and replicate that now in what's happening now, because the actual business model of what that club stood for has completely changed now with the VIP culture, the way how things are set up now, based on, going to space was a mystery. You didn't even use your mobile phone. Now, when you go into a club, everyone's on a mobile phone and knows where everything is. So it's a shame. But I mean, we have to move on, and I understand it.
Yeah.
But when you look back at a lot of the videos and a lot of whatever was recorded at the time at Space, all you see is people having a fantastic time with other people on the dance floor, listening to great music from great DJs.
Yeah, and for me, when I used to go to Space, it wasn't even actually about looking at the DJ while he was playing the music, because I remember the booth was in the corner of the main room, and I remember the space in every different direction you were dancing, and that's what I loved about it. There was no center focus at that time. It was just about the music, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, I mean, look, yes, Ibiza's become more commercial. Yes, it's not underground anymore, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's still good. People are still having a really great time. It's just that this was then, and now is now, and we had a great time then. At the end of the day, I would never change it for anything, and I would love to try and get Space back back on the island. But I think it's impossible now, especially with this pandemic. So it's just changed everything. For the future, clubbers will still go out clubbing, but a whole new generation of clubbers will go out clubbing.
Yeah.
Not the old generation going out clubbing. The older generation will find their events to go to, like they have done with Clockwork Orange, and it's been very successful on the island, of course. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We just have to basically understand that things have to move on. And we had the best years, I think, when Space was open.
No, it was. I kind of want to let people into the insight from my side of when, how it was for me at that club. I remember I was doing We Love Sundays for about 5 years, and I had a few issues with the promoters there and stuff, and then you kind of got on the phone with you and you're like, come and play for me at my night. Bear in mind, this is good for all your up and coming kids that want to go and see their heroes at the time. I was in the dance floor watching you for so many years before, so just to get that phone call was just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Wow.
And then right through to closing Space, and I want everyone to know. I haven't really spoke about it much, but you asked me to close the main room, and we originally meant to play till 10, and you were meant to do the last 2 hours on your own. And then I was just about to pack my stuff up, and you just grabbed my arm and said, we're closing this place together. Now, for me, that is the ultimate highlight of my career. That for me, at that moment, you saying that to me. But I just want to know what, and I think a lot of people want to know, is how you managed to get to play the Angie Stone record at the end. What kind of thought process did you go through that record? Because it was so perfect and well executed.
I think more than anything, it was going around in my mind for many months, because I knew it was coming. I knew we had to close. I knew that it would have been too easy to play Strings of Life, Promised Land, any of the classics. It would have been Too Easy to Play, Where Love Lives, Alice in Limerick, and everything else that goes with it. And I felt in the end of the day that this record by Angie Stone, I Wish I Never Missed You, I never played at Space. I never played that record in Space. I've never played that record full stop anywhere. And I just felt that I found a record that I really felt that if I was ever going to play it, that this would be the best time to play it, because nobody would see that coming at all. It kind of threw everybody out. It just spun everyone's mind, because it was the last record, and this record, you would have heard it if when it came out on the radio, on rotation. If you're into that R&B sound, you would have heard it at some point. You would know it. Most of the girls knew that record more than the guys. But the thing is about it is, I made a little edit of it. I did. Yeah. Now, some people believe that it was done by somebody else. There is other mixes of it, of course, but that edit that you hear is what I did. And I just didn't do that much to it. I put a kick drum on it, hi-hat, threw some rides, and some effects, because I wanted to keep the ethos of the original song in there, but just speed it up a little bit so we had that housey groove. But I want people to have something that in their mind that makes them remember where they were. And I just had to play that record. And I felt that if you're really into music, and this is why Space was what made Space, was because of the music. And this track, I think, now stands for the last record played at Space now. And when you listen to that record, you tear up, because the lyrics in the record makes you feel like that, like you've missed something, you're missing something. It reminds you what's not there now. And I believe that this was the only record I could have played. And I chose that record very, very wisely. Of course, it's not techno. And of course, it's not true house music. And of course, it's not from 88, 89, whatever. It doesn't matter. As far as I was concerned, it's an amazing tune when you hear it, well executed by Angie. And I think it made Space closing what it was. And still, when I hear that record today, I still well up a little bit, knowing why I played that record in the first place.
It's probably the talking point over the last 4 years of my life, that when we talk about the closing, and everyone from the bank manager to the account, everyone I knew, like, I think it was one of the most streamed things on Be At TV. And the minute that curtain came down, me, you, Peppy, and Hussey were just all each other. We were all in tears, weren't we? It was just incredible. It was just, and especially for you, because you are, you're kind of like the son he never had. So it was this emotion of that night. I don't think we're ever going to be able to replicate it. I kind of called it the Studio 54 closing of our generation.
Yeah, of our time, 100%. It's I don't think what's going to happen here. I mean, people will shed tears in some ways because their favourite clubs are not going to emerge because of what's going on here with the pandemic. But the thing was, when you have known something or been involved in something for so long, and now it's not going to be there anymore, even when things were going good, you just can't believe it's happening. And it happened. And that was the mad thing about it. It was that last record, that last moment, the curtain closing was like, wow. It was, I mean, I find it very hard to cry about anything, but of course I cried about that, because the emotions of what we've had in that club for so many years, so many records, emotions, DJs, the things that have happened. It's just the embodiment of how vast that was. Is insane to just think, oh, well, it's just another club, it just closed. No, that was a massive part of all of our lives, and my story and your story and many other DJs and people who went their stories. We can write a million books on what was going on at Space over the years, and what basically defined a nation. I mean, the thing is, at Space, it didn't get those accolades for no reason. It got us accolades because it was considered to be the best club in the world, and I had the privilege to be a big part of that.
Yeah, and I likewise, man, I had the privilege of obviously standing with my mentor, and I kind of call it the Source and the Apprentice story. So I don't think I've ever really thanked you, but thank you for that moment, mate, because that's going to be with me for the rest of my life. And you know, it was amazing having my family there, your sisters there, all our crew there, and doing that all together. So, anyway, on to the next one. I want to sort of. I know you've got other passions apart from music and stuff like that, and something that not a lot of people know about you, and something that kind of blew my mind when I came to stay with you in Melbourne and when we flew up to Sydney is drag racing.
Yeah, people have no idea that I am a consummate petrol head. I love all things racing. I love motorbikes. I have a huge collection of some amazing motorcycles, which I ride on more or less nearly every single one of them, you know, in the time that I have to enjoy them here in Australia. But also cars. I've always been into cars, as you know, and racing cars as well. But drag racing has always been something that I've always felt that I could do really well. And I kind of kicked it up a notch with the car that I have now today, which I bought from the States, called a Pro Mod, and it's in the shape of a Mustang 1967 Fastback. When I started racing back in the day at Santa Pod Raceway in a Mark 1 Ford Capri, which is still considered today as one of the best cars ever made from Ford. I used to race my old car back in the day at Santa Pod Raceway, and I used to basically get roughly about 17 seconds on a quarter mile at about 87 miles an hour, which for me was quick. It was fast.
Yeah.
Even though some cars, street cars, were running faster than that, that was my experience of it. And then I stopped drag racing because I just couldn't afford it. It's very expensive when things go wrong. But I stopped racing. I was obviously DJing. I was basically just going up and down the motorway with cars that I had bought, and I didn't race anything. It was just hopefully that the cars that I had would get me to the parties, and some of them did, some of them didn't. But you know, I always fixed my own cars. I changed my own engines. I always changed the gearboxes. You know, on Sunday mornings or afternoons, I'll be tinkering with cars all the time to make them more reliable, you know, quicker. So if I ever went back to Centre Pod, I would get faster. So it never really happened until after, you know, me playing for so many years, DJing, and now being able to afford to drag race here in Australia is where it all started again. Yeah. And I started to build 10-second street cars, which I have 3 of them. And then I built the Capri over here in Australia, of which now I run that at a 6.994 seconds at 206 mile an hour. And I've now bought a new car, which now runs the fastest I've been is 6.1 seconds at 234 miles an hour. So I've got progressively faster, but also the car that I bought actually puts me in the realm of professional drag racing. So outside of all this with the pandemic, with the time that I've had off, I will be probably coming back and putting a lot more of my efforts, of course, into the DJing as much as I can, but also back into my drag car to race again. And you can see the car racing and doing some passes up on YouTube. You can go Carl Cox, Ford Mustang 67, and you'll see that car racing, and also the Mark 1 Capri as well. Yeah. Not a lot of people know that, but they do know that now.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you just one more time if we could just reset, because I'm getting a lot of people saying they can't see you. We'll try one more time. If not, we'll just carry on the way we are, if that's okay, Carl.
No problem at all.
All right. Sorry, guys. We're just waiting for Carl to reconnect. Guess the signal down in Australia isn't that great. Or he's not paying his bill. I don't know. Carl, where are you, mate? Here we go. Where's the...
Connected.
Someone just said you spent all your money on cars, so you can't afford to pay your internet bill.
That's correct. I told you, drag racing is very expensive. Don't do it. Okay, save your money. Spend more money on internet bills.
I also, you know, you talk about the drag racing stuff, but you've obviously got a massive love for motorbikes. And even when I stayed with you at the time, you had motorbikes in your kitchen. So because you
still one in there.
Didn't have Look at that.
You see it?
Yeah. I think I had to, when I stayed at yours, I had to dodge round one to get to the bathroom, mate, or a few. So, so we've talked about, a few bits and pieces. Now we're in isolation. It's tough for everyone. We kind of made everything like a level playing field now, hasn't it? Everyone's on the same situation. But for some reason, and I'm going to say 2 words: banana bread.
So say that again. Banana
bread.
It's true. Let me go away and come back a minute. Hang on. I think what I'm going to do, Nick, I'm going to start a bakery. I think Carl Cox's bakery for just banana bread, because I mean it's true. It's delicious.
I spoke to you on the phone the other day. And I know you just had your first release come out on Pure for 2 years, and I said, I know how you're going to sell this. Mate. If you sell it with banana bread, you'll probably sell 1 million copies.
Well, yeah, I think not just banana bread. One moment. It's the obligatory pink glove. It's gonna. I'm going to be selling pink gloves and banana bread, outside of my DJing. I think I'm onto something here. I think so.
There's a question that's just come up that you should start your own YouTube channel, Carl's Baking.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing quite a lot of. I've got some time on my hands now. I mean, I've always said to people, if I wasn't a DJ, I was going to be a chef, because I love cooking food. Yeah. But even though the hours are crap being a chef and everything, I just still love the idea that I'm still giving people something from my soul. And so far, by being here, I've made some chicken's vegetables from scratch, leek and potato soup, banana bread, and the pasta dishes. The list goes on. I've been having a ball, in the kitchen. I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah, no, it's anything else you've been kind of doing during isolation? Because like I said earlier, we're in the same boat. Mentally it's tough for a lot of people, especially I feel for people that, and this is more of a serious question, that like 1-bedroom apartments in the middle of a city. It's tough. It's tough for people. But have you been sticking to a routine? Have you been making music? Have you been apart from the banana bread and the Coxie cookbook that's coming out 2021? Anything else?
Well, in my garden, and then when you come back at one point here, Nick, with the family as well, you have to check out my vegetable and herb garden, which I'm really enjoying. I've got beetroot out there, parsnips, broad beans. I've got spring onion springing up. I've got parsley out there, thyme, mint, rosemary.
Amazing.
I've been looking after my garden vegetable patch. I never thought I was going to have one, because I'm never really here to look after it.
No.
Now I'm here to look after it. I mean, I'll go out there every morning to make sure that they get fed with the water and everything. But right now, I mean, we're going into autumn, into the winter. So some of those things are not going to grow because we've got no sun. So, at the moment, it's a bit difficult for them. And right now, it's about 8-9 degrees with wind and rain.
Yeah.
So it's a bit difficult for them at the moment. But and I care about them. I'm kind of going out there, looking at them and seeing them all going out in the wind and.
Yeah. Your babies.
My pastor is going like this. Help!
We were on the phone the other day, and we kind of had an amazing chat about what we thought was going to come out of this at the end of this. You know, where we were going to go in the scene, what we were going to, you know, how we felt. Like, we don't have a defining date right now when we're going to come back, but no. You said something quite interesting, that it will be a good reset for the scene, and you as well, you personally as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing that's going to happen when we get back out there, because I think whatever happens will be of a quality. And what happens is, you know, you'll really notice, you know, the talent of musicians and poets and people who dance and the people who DJ and people who are in the studio making great music. You know, the promoters are the ones that are still going to be around because they're out there because of their hearts in the reason why they're doing these events in the first place, and not just for money. All of this stuff is all going to come out at the end of the day, because we all going to now, you know, be careful of what we choose to do. And I think that's what's really amazing. And also, so many people being so creative now. We're not doing it for any reason apart from we just want to do it. I mean, the whole rave scene happened because we just wanted to do it. There was no textbook for, you know, the actual event itself or the music that was being played by any of the DJs. It's just something that we did, and a lot of people followed us because that's what they wanted. So I think now, based on what's happened here, is going to be a new world order when it comes to events that you go to. Yeah. And don't forget, now because we still don't have a vaccination or vaccine for the coronavirus, we still don't know who has it or who doesn't have it. Yeah. So therefore, you're not going to go to an event and be together, and then to find out that one person does have it, and then you end up with it. At the end of the day, we're going to have this thing put in place. There's going to be a document put in place for all events, whether they're big or small, based on social space, and this is going to be the one thing which is going to really affect Clubland for a long time. And I think that people will just be very tentative now. I mean, look, DC10. I'm not saying that only DC10 in the Ibiza, but it's a very packed club. There's no way that you're going to go to the Ibiza, to DC10, and squish yourself with everybody else in that club. It's not going to happen. No. Or Amnesia, or think of anything, any big event which is a lot of people. They're not going to have it. I mean, look at, if you go to Glastonbury, there's more people squished in all sorts of places. This is not going to happen all the time. That we have this ideal of no vaccination, and we need this distance between ourselves so we don't get the coronavirus between ourselves. So it's going to be a whole different scenario when we get back out there on how we handle it and how we adapt as people now, because we are going to be thinking a lot more about ourselves and each other to be safe. And I think that's probably the best way of getting through this, you know, based on what has happened so far.
No, totally. And I think that, you know, I'm always a positive person like you, and I always think we're going to come back better and stronger. But I think we have to go through that process over the next 12 months of thinking, right, it's going to start bit by bit by bit by bit. But I really believe that when we come back, it's going to be so strong. I really believe that when we, you know, I think that this is the moment for, it's like cleaning the house, isn't it? It's clean out and then see who comes back and who survives and who was the best in the game before, really, you know.
I like to think that in time we'll be bigger, stronger, and better than ever before. And also, people will appreciate what we do more as well, because at the time everything was going well. There's kind of Carl's playing there, Carl's doing this, Carl's doing that, Carl's playing. He didn't play hard enough. He did play hard enough. He wasn't soulful enough. Yes, he was. No, and all these, and all I'm trying to do is give you the best party, you know, and playing the conditions.
Yeah.
And that's it. I'm not there to reinvent the wheel and anything. I'm just making sure that you smile at the end of it when you leave, rather than, you know, you standing there with your arms folded going, he was crap or he was good. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we only do this because we want to entertain the people who are in front of us. Doesn't matter if there's 1,000 people or 5. I mean, if you just appreciate the work that goes into what we do. And I think what's going to happen now is that down the line, they will appreciate what we do based on how much we love it and how much of a passion that we give to what we do. And don't forget, there's lots of sacrifices that we've had, and like yourself, to do what we do. And health is one of them, but missing our family and friends also is another. And we don't have now time to waste, you know, based on the time that we have now to catch up on what we've lost with this coronavirus, not allowing us to basically get out there at the moment. I mean, can you imagine? We had all these events to do, and now we don't have any. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be leaving here, Australia, to play anywhere until maybe the beginning of next year. And that's maybe. So, I mean, it's at the moment, yes, I'm very positive for the future, but we've got to get out of here first. And when we do, we might end up going into, you know, first, as soon as I step into America or step into the UK, I'm going to deal with a 14-day self-isolation just to make sure I don't have the coronavirus, and then we're going in. So this will be in play for quite a while, I think, and quite rightly so until we know what we're dealing with in the end of the day, because we've never dealt with anything like this before, Nick, and hopefully we never will again. But right now we are in the thick of something severe, which has affected us all, and people are dying because of it. So I want to party. I want to go crazy. I want to go mad. I want to really enjoy my life in the way that it was. We just have to get past one big hurdle, and it's this one.
Yeah, like I said, it's a level playing field now. Now, I just want to kind of wrap things up in a bit. We're going to get a few questions from people, but there's one. I'm trying to finish on a positive note, so we're all happy and we leave this conversation. Is it true that you've got over 150,000 vinyls?
Yeah. I packed them myself when I left England and basically sent them to Australia. Each box is 1,000 records. So it ended up with over 150,000 pieces. And I never believed that I had that many. But when the truck turned up, like a big one, and from front to back, all there was these boxes turning up. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So when I do my cabin fever shows here in Australia, I have nothing. All I want to do is just play the history of all the records that I have, and not even play digitally. Every single show that I would do in Cabin Fever is from vinyl, because there's so much of it. But man, can you imagine the music that I have on vinyl that is not out there in the digital the platform or domain? It's thousands of it. And I've been playing it at Cabin Fever, and people can't believe it, that I'm actually finding these records and put the needle on it and then playing them. And I've been having a ball with it. I mean, it's freaked people out, because they're like, a lot of people didn't even know that I played vinyl. You know, in the last 10 years, they never see me spin a turntable. But now, because they heard about it, it was like an urban myth. Carl Cox, the three-deck wizard. Yeah, you know, he used to play on vinyl. I've never seen him. He's not a DJ. He plays digitally. Now I'm saying every single show is vinyl. And it's so much fun because they crackle, they jump, you know. You get feedback from them. All the stuff that you kind of like was going crazy about back in the day is the essence of what makes it so unique, you know, and also tangible. It's like I smell the vinyl. I'm just like, these are the reasons why I love playing the music from vinyl. But I have a massive collection. It's huge. And it was one time I was going to sell the records, because I had no room for them. Yeah. But thank God that I did not, because I wouldn't have been able to play those records today.
Yeah, no. And and it's Sundays you can catch it, isn't it? The every Sunday, yeah. So
every Sunday, and I think and I think in the UK it's like around about 4 p.m.
Yeah.
in the UK.
Yeah, no. Something I read, and you got to correct me on this, is right, that you co-founded Awesome Soundwave, and you did the online festival with people, and that you're donating the funds to the Crisis Kitchen in Bali. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're in a very sorry state in Bali at the moment, because there's no tourism. Obviously, they're on lockdown, and there's a few friends that Christopher Coe, who's my co-partner with the label, also Soundwave, he feels very attached to them. What's happening there in Bali, and I got to see what's happening in Bali, and I just needed a little bit of help if they could get it, and that's what we did. We basically created some funds and sent them over to them, just so they can end up having some sort of food parcels, to people who couldn't basically, get out to actually get the food, buy food. They can't afford it. There's no money coming in. This kind of thing. It's a difficult situation in Bali because I think no one's going in and no one's getting out. So they're basically having to self-source as much as they can. But Bali is not a poor country, but it's very third world in its way, and they just need a little bit of help if they can. So, excuse me. So that's what we did. We raised some money for the food crisis in Bali.
Yeah, amazing. So, if everyone online, if there's a couple of questions you want to ask Carl, and then we can kind of wrap it up after that, mate. I could talk to you for hours.
Well, the thing is, as I've seen on here, Nick, I mean, everyone wants us to play music, and we, yes, get online. There's plenty of streaming what we're doing. I've got so much stuff on Mixcloud, so much stuff on Spotify, so much. We need to talk more about who we are as human beings, rather than hiding behind the music. And this is fantastic that we're able to do this. No. And of course, we need to do this a lot more in our future as well. I think it's important.
I know we've probably got stories that would go for days. Some we probably couldn't be able to talk about. Some we can.
Exactly.
Right then. Well, that's I love talking to you. I class you as one of my best friends. And yeah, thank you, mate, for being on here, bringing sunshine to my day, and I hope there's a lot of people that have been tuned in and listening. And I really can't wait to give you a hug next time, mate, and being a DJ.
It's been long overdue, and to see you and your family, mate. It's these are the problems of where we are right now, and I think at the end of the day, once we get to hug each other all over the world, it's going to be just sensational.
All right, well, big love, brother. And say hi to Jumper and the crew down there, and I really can't wait to see you soon, mate.
Likewise, Nick. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Bye for now.
See you, mate.
Ciao.
Hey guys, so that was the first edition, as I was saying, amazing human being that we've just been chatting to, and I hope you're all at home staying safe, and that you tune in next week. Next week's gonna be on a Thursday, and we have the talented clothes designer Marcel Boulon on the show, and I hope you enjoyed today, and speak to you next week, or I'll see your comments next week, and catch you soon. See ya.